Medicine plays one of the most instrumental and critical roles in today's modern era. Medicines are chemical compounds used to cure, halt, prevent disease, ease symptoms, or help in the diagnosis of illnesses. Advances in medicine have enabled doctors to cure many diseases and save lives. To give you a good grasp of how much of an impact medicine has made on modern society, here are some statistics. Since 1980, medical technology has reduced fatalities from heart disease and stroke by more than half. This was a report done by the National Center for Health Statistics. In that same period, average life expectancy in the United States has increased dramatically by over 5 years. This was only up until 2016. Just imagine what could happen in the next 5 or 6 years. But before we start thinking that far ahead, we must know who the people are who set a foundation for all of these medical advancements. Let us start off by talking about the inventor of vaccines, Edward Jenner.
Edward Jenner was born in Britain on the 17th of May, 1749, as the son of a vicar. As a child, Jenner was fascinated by and enjoyed observing the nature around him. At the age of 14, he was employed by a local surgeon and later trained in London. He returned to his hometown in 1772 to work as a doctor, which he had done for the most part of his career. During this time, smallpox was a prominent and deadly disease, especially among children. After some observation, Jenner realized that milkmaids who suffered mild disease of cowpox were never subject to smallpox. So in 1796, Jenner carried out a popular experiment on a young boy in which he placed the pus from a cowpox pustule into an incision on the boy's arm, after which he claimed that the boy was immune to smallpox. He submitted a paper to the Royal Society in 1797 describing his experiment. However, they wanted more evidence to fully understand if the experiment was viable. Jenner proceeded to perform the experiment on more people, including his son. His results were finally published in 1798, after which Jenner coined the term vaccine, which was derived from the Latin word vacca, which means cow. Jenner's work received a lot of criticism. However, people thought of his idea to use material from a deceased animal as a cure for smallpox as ungodly. The advantages of vaccine outweighed this criticism. However, and soon, vaccines were used extensively. Jenner worked on improving his vaccines until he passed away on the 26th of January, 1823, aged 72 due to a stroke.
Moving on to our second significant individual who contributed to the medical field, we will be talking about Louis Pasteur. Louis Pasteur was born on the 27th of December, 1822, in France. He was an average student in school but enjoyed painting and studying science. He earned a bachelor's degree in both art and science. He proceeded to teach and research for many years. Pasteur's experiment with paratartaric acid in 1849 proved that studying a chemical's composition is not enough to understand the chemical's behavior. When a polarized light was passed through tartaric acid, it rotated the plane of light, changing its angle. For years, scientists assumed that tartaric and paratartaric acid are the same, as their structure was identical. However, through observations using the microscope, Pasteur understood that paratartaric acid rotated the plane of polarized light in the opposite direction. He also observed that when the two acids were put together, they nullified the effect of the polarized light altogether. This led to a field of science called stereochemists. 5 years later, when he became a part of the science faculty at the University of Lille, he worked on solving the problem with the manufacturing of alcoholic drinks. He observed that several food items were spoiled over time by microorganisms like bacteria. Due to this, he heated the liquid and allowed them to cool, which killed the bacteria. Today, we refer to this process as pasteurization. This also proved the spontaneous generation theory wrong, which stated that new matter arises from dead matter. He also found out how to prevent the contamination of silk fabrics in 1865. He also developed a vaccine for chicken cholera in 1879 after accidentally exposing the chicken cholera virus and its attenuated form to chickens. He developed vaccines for cholera, TB, and more diseases. In 1882, he worked on developing a vaccine for rabies, and in 1885, his vaccine worked successfully on an infected young boy. This discovery brought him immediate fame. Pasteur passed away on the 20th of September 1895 due to paralysis. Moving on to our third and final significant individual who made a huge impact on the medical field, we will be talking about Florence Nightingale. Florence Nightingale was born on the 12th of May 1980 in Florence, Italy, to British parents. Her family shifted back to Britain in 1821. She excelled in mathematics, was a polyglot, and wanted to learn about philosophers as well. She strongly supported her religion as well. At the age of 16, she apparently received several calls from God asking her to nurse people. However, her family was against the idea. Despite that, she was able to enroll in a nursing education university in 1850 and 1851. In 1853, she wanted to leave her family and proceed to become a superintendent of an institution for sick women. She successfully displayed her nursing skills there. Later, she wanted to work in an institution to teach people nursing. However, in October of 1853, the Crimean War began when the Turkish Ottoman Empire declared war on Russia due to disputes over holy places and Judaism and more. During the war, the medical facilities arranged in Istanbul for British soldiers was ineffective due to the lack of basic medical supplies. The British public wanted the situation to improve. Nightingale was requested to lead a group of nurses to Istanbul by Sidney Herbert, Secretary of State at war for the British government. During the same time, Nightingale asked Liz Herbert, Sidney's wife, if she could do the same. The mutual requests were eventually granted. Nightingale departed with 38 women to Istanbul on the 21st of October 1854. Nightingale brought funds and the materials and equipment along with her. She established high standards of care, which earned her the title Lady with the Lamp. She also cured people who were impacted psychologically by conducting several activities like the reading and writing and more. Her efforts reduced the mortality rate in Britain to around 2%. Her progress was hindered as she contracted the Crimean fever. However, after visiting Russia during the war, she continued to develop medical facilities for the military. The Nightingale Fund was established in 1855, and a large portion of the money collected was invested in the Nightingale School of Nursing, which opened in 1816, making nursing a viable choice for many. Her coxcomb chart and other statistical contributions remain relevant to this day. Nightingale also wrote a publication, Notes on Nursing, What It Is and What It Is Not, which emphasizes the importance of nursing in households. Due to her outstanding contributions in improving nursing, she was honored by the title of Lady of Grace of the Order of St. John in Jerusalem in the Order of Merit. She passed away on the 13th of August 1910 due to heart failure.
In the past, medicine had done wonders. It has given hope to those who thought their days were numbered, and has changed the way we look upon threatening diseases. The individuals we discussed above are only a few of many significant individuals that have contributed to the medical field and have made people's lives better. As we have seen from the individuals we mentioned, some of these individuals have even changed the tide of war. They set a foundation for the entire medical field, and because of the efforts of these individuals and many others, the medical field continues to make medicine and products that improve human health and cure many dangerous diseases.